My name is Sydney, and I'm part of the Meredith Media Association at Meredith College, and welcome to my podcast. In this episode, we will be speaking with the mayor of Apex on how the town is handling COVID-19.
My name is Jacques Gilbert, and I am the mayor for the town of Apex.
All right, well, it was so nice to talk to you today. So what is the town of Apex doing to help prevent the spread of COVID-19?
Well, I would first like to say I thank you for having me on this podcast. It's very important that we get information out, and that's something I think we've done very well. We have kept our citizens informed through social media and our website at the beginning of this crisis, but that's just who we are as Apex. We've always remained connected in everything that we do. So with the COVID-19 crisis, we have the right leaders in place. Our town manager, Drew Havens, has really stepped up and basically delivered, who he is as a leader for our town and getting us moving in the right direction to also collaborate and work with other municipal agencies as well as, hospital medical experts to ensure that Apex is, at the table for how this impacts our community. So it's been a lot of collaboration, again, with other partners to ensure that we have everything, the resources, and all the information to help us keep citizens informed.
Very nice. So if I did think that I had this virus, where would I go or what would I do? Like, are there any testing stations that are set up in Apex?
At this time, there's no knowledge of any testing stations that are set up. Of course, we do have Apex Healthplex here. We're in the hospitals of the Wake Med hospital system. But here's what I would say to anyone that if they're having any type of symptoms and they're different things to look at, and I'm not a medical expert, but this is the information that's out there. Some symptoms are sore throat and cough and some other things. But the first thing I would say is try not to panic and call your medical provider that first and try to reach out to them and get direction from them. Of course, if you have difficulty breathing and you feel like you need emergency services at that time that would reach the point of 911, then of course you dial 911 and get EMS there. But otherwise, reach out to your medical provider that you would normally go to for medical services. So that would be the first thing. The second thing is don't panic, because anxiety obviously will add another layer to the medical concern, and we definitely don't want anybody getting into that mode. So that would be my advice.
And as of right now, there's no confirmed cases or deaths or anything within Apex due to the virus?
No confirmed deaths. I don't have any information about confirmed cases in Apex. Mm-hmm. But what I will tell you is I can speak for Wake County. It is rapidly growing with people that have been infected with the COVID-19 virus, and this data is alarming, of course. But here's what I will say with that is how we respond to this crisis is what's going to keep us moving forward, and that's simply what you talked about before, just reaching out to each other and providing needs to people, and I guess we'll talk about that later, but coming together as a community is going to be the best way that we can strategize and fight this giant that we're dealing with.
For sure. And so with you being obviously part of the police force and everything, do you know if the first responders are taking any precautions with interacting with citizens?
Yes, they are. Spoken with Chief Letney, who is the chief of police for Apex. And, of course, we have an EOC that has been set up since the beginning, I think since March 3rd. That's the Emergency Operations Center. And they've been monitoring everything on behalf of Apex and making sure that our citizens are kept safe for emergency services. But the police, they are following the CDC recommendations that are out there, precautions, and maintaining that 6 feet apart. They're being good examples of that, and they're wearing the appropriate PPE when necessary, protective equipment. Mm-hmm. And also just being the best example out there as they represent the town of Apex. They're doing their part, and, we're trying to minimize as many contacts as possible, and that's what they're doing.
And so what events are postponed? Like I saw Peak Fest was pushed, I believe, back until September. So are all events postponed as of right now?
Yes, all events are postponed as of now, and they're, obviously will be reviewed every so often. Of course, it has to be lined up with the changes that are being made to deal with this pandemic. But yes, everything is kind of pushed back right now, and this is, again, unprecedented. And to have Peak Fest possibly in the fall is that's kind of strange to even say.
Yes.
But, it's necessary, though, for the health and well-being of all our citizens.
What other town facilities are closed?
Okay, so I would start by saying all of our core services that the town of Apex offers still be there, which is, police, fire, water, sewer, garbage collections. All of those things will continue. So there's no changes there. But as far as parks, names that do this, but we got to close that to ensure that we're doing our part and being a good stakeholder and for the county. Greenways are still open. The nature trails are open as well.
I'm sure my dog will like that, to know that the trails are still open.
By the way, the dog park is still open too. So,
okay.
So we're good for your dog. Yep.
Good to know. So will there be any town hall meetings that are being held virtually online?
That is the plan. In fact, we had our council meeting on March the 17th, I think it was, yes. We went ahead with that one. We didn't have any public hearing or public forum. We tried to do our part in slowing down the spread of the virus. And at that meeting, what we decided to do is we postponed the next meeting in April, and then I believe it's the next meeting that we're trying to do something virtual. Mm-hmm. So more details to come on that.
All right, I will make sure to look for that online. And so then how is the town trying to help local small businesses? I know downtown obviously is filled with lots of different stores and restaurants. So is there anything in place to try to help them?
Yeah, so obviously we're looking for, federal assistance that obviously will come through the state of North Carolina. And then, of course, that will be dispersed to the local municipalities. But what we're doing in Apex is we're working together right now, council, and trying to figure out some strategies and to meet the needs for our small businesses. And, of course, the messaging is very important. We're really pushing citizens to go out and do takeout delivery to support our restaurants in all parts of our downtown and all over Apex. That's one big thing. And then we're creating this task force that will address, people volunteering, businesses, how we can help them, and we, have a person there, the stakeholder, to make sure they're represented. So right now it is in the infancy stages. We're doing the best we can to understand what are the needs of the business community, and then we can strategize and put a plan together. So more information is forthcoming.
If someone does unfortunately lose their job or is in need of some type of food or shelter or donations, is there anywhere that Apex citizens can go to try to get help?
First thing I want to mention, we will release what would be called a mayor's community task force that will be coming out soon. And what that is we're going to have a clearinghouse, if you will, of volunteers who are available, and then we're going to line them up with organizations. And also we will have a component of that of people who are in need. They need essentials to be able to move forward during this crisis. So that information is coming. But in the interim, what we want people to do is reach out to organizations like Western Wake Crisis Ministry. I think it's www.cm.org, and can find all information out about them. Beth Bordeaux, she's the executive director. She's been working tirelessly to make sure that citizens are taken care of and they have food and other resources. So that would be the first. And, of course, reach out to me, and I can, point people in directions that they can receive help.
And what would be the best way to contact you then if someone needed help?
Yep, they can reach out to me. I don't mind, as the mayor of Apex, North Carolina, giving out my cell phone. So that number is 919-522-9823. Or they can reach me by email, which is jacques.gilbert@apexnc.org.
I think that is very generous of you, and it just shows how much that you care about the town and everyone inside of it. So thank you so much again for that. How does the town plan to sanitize all of its facilities eventually when the quarantine is lifted?
So again, I mentioned Drew Havens. He's been at the front leading as town manager. And when this pandemic first hit, we knew we had a situation. We needed to make sure that our public facilities were, safe for our citizens. So we sanitized the entire town hall, all police facilities, everything under town that would offer town services. So we did that ahead of time. We went ahead and closed the town hall and limited access for other buildings of our town. But we will continue to sanitize. And once this is over, we will obviously get advice and recommendations from the professionals on how to get that done. So more information to come on that.
And we touched on this briefly earlier about helping one another, but is there any donation stations or things that we can do as a community to help one another?
Yeah, so I'll come back to the task force and that clearinghouse. We'll add another layer to the website page there to make sure that people can know who they can donate to, maybe a list of approved organizations to receive those donations. But I'll also encourage people to look at the local church because they can use the assistance because they know the people that they serve, and they can get the help to them as needed, so they can make donations to the local church. And of course, just go on to Google and hit a list of Apex churches, and they're all partners with the town of Apex and to help in our community.
Well, do you have any closing remarks or encouraging words? I mean, I know that Apex is obviously the peak of good living, and I think with having you as mayor and being so courteous to everyone and being so open has helped us a lot. But do you have any final things that you'd like to say to the community?
Well, again, I would like to thank you for allowing me to come here, and all the questions you asked is what the citizens need to know. So what I would say to our citizens, we got this, and it is a bold statement. And I will say this, that we're going to be better tomorrow than we are today. And after we get through this pandemic, people will see that Apex was able to rise up and take care of each other. As we move forward, I would highly encourage people to limit their time on social media as far as focusing on the crisis itself, and TV as well, because it could elevate your anxiety. So please take the time with your family right now as we're sitting at home and we have limited social interaction, and make this time quality time with your loved ones, and do everything possible to remain safe. And as I always say, there is nothing we can accomplish when we work together. So continue to work together.
Well, thank you so much, and everyone still can go look at the website with a lot of this information that you talked about today, and you even gave us more of an insight. So thank you again for speaking with me and giving everyone a little bit more of peace of mind with everything that's going on.
Okay, thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, and tune in next time as we talk about the Carolina Tiger Rescue.